Ben's Tale, An Adventure of Truth and Myth. Book 1, Seeds of Destiny. Chapter 2, Long Strange Trip. Scene 5. Ben's Nana and Papa were up late into the night, sweeping up glass and tacking up blankets over the opening where the living room window once was. The police had finished their investigation of the area and had okayed it so they could tidy things up. Nana had her hair tied up in a kerchief to keep it off her face. Both she and Papa wore gloves, jeans, and work boots to protect them from splinters and pieces of glass. Neither tall nor short, Nana was rather fit for someone crossing into her 60s. She had a little extra here and there, but was still very light on her feet and able to hold her own in any project she was a part of. Her face was expressive and her mind was sharp as a tack. Russ was about 7 years her senior and several inches taller. His quiet, relaxed demeanor belied his great, powerful strength. Always rather deep in thought, he often kept those thoughts to himself. They wanted to take a rest after the downstairs was done, but they knew that if they stopped, they wouldn't finish the spots upstairs. They grabbed a broom, dustpan, vacuum, and a trash bin and headed for Ben's room first. The floor lamp went straight to the trash. It was bent, twisted, and broken with its shade torn. The plug cord was ripped. The plug itself was a flattened ball of metal. They swept up the broken shards from the tumbler Ben's mother had thrown. The water had long since dried up. They went into the master bedroom and started sweeping up the pieces of glass. Papa was at the opening where the window frame had fallen out. He lifted up his case tractor cap with a hand aged and brown from decades spent farming. He wiped the sweat off his weathered brow onto his long tanned arm, then put his cap securely back in place. He pulled a flashlight from his pocket and began shining it along the edge, picking chips of glass out of the wood and tossing them into the trash bin. He paused in his work when he noticed something shimmering deep within the hollow of the wall. His dark blue eyes curiously studied what lay inside. He made sure there weren't any other stray slivers of glass within, and then he reached into the cavity. He was just able to contact something with the tips of his fingers. He squeezed tighter against the wall and, using his fingers as a pair of tweezers, snagged what felt like a piece of paper or cardboard. He slowly pulled his arm back, dragging the unknown something with it. He stopped and got a better purchase on the item. It now seemed less akin to paper and more like a torn piece of cloth. What he finally removed was something he had never seen before in his 67 years. "Jessie," he said to his wife, "look what was stuck in the gap behind the wall." He held a gray-black feather. It was more than a foot long. The base of it appeared brand new and shimmered in the room's overhead light. The tip and edges were curled and wet. It seemed as if it was melting slowly from the outside in. It smelled of rot, burn, and death. Have you ever seen something so strange? "What have the kids gotten themselves into, Russ?" asked Jessie as worried lines formed on her face. "That thing is going to be so much compost by morning." "Whatever that is, I think it's tied up in all this. We should call the police back. Can you give them a call? I'm going to go outside to the car and get my camera. I'll get some pictures of that thing while it still looks like a feather. Might need them before this is all over." By the time the police were finished with their second visit, it was past midnight. They weren't as convinced as Jessie that it was not just an old feather from a big crow or hawk. That the feather couldn't have gotten behind that wall any time in the 20 years before that day didn't seem to bother them at all. Jessie tried to explain that the inside of the wall had only been opened today in all that time. Whatever it was, she felt it had to be related to the case. The detective in charge didn't feel like he should humor the little old lady. "All evidence points to your son-in-law being our lead suspect in the kidnapping of your grandson," said the detective. "That some bird might have flown by after he smashed out the window is a distraction at best." Jessie now understood why her daughter had gone off on her own to look for whomever or whatever took Benny. She would have just been looked at by the authorities as some abused nutjob. The truth was getting a little weirder the more she knew, but Jessie had no doubt that the truth had nothing to do with David kidnapping Ben. The detective, however, had formed his own opinions of what truth was. Weirdness just didn't fit into his little formulas of reality. No wonder her daughter took things into her own hands. Ben's mom always had good instincts about things, but it was too sad she was right about this. The police were not going to be too much help. Jessie only hoped that would change as more clues appeared. They tacked a blanket on the upstairs window space after the police had left. Russ and Jessie were exhausted. They both said prayers for their daughter, for Ben, and for David. They pulled out the sofa bed from the downstairs couch, kissed each other good night, and slept a deep, untroubled sleep. They were too tired to worry and too tired to dream. Hello, all, and welcome to Ben's Tale, Book 1, Seeds of Destiny. Chapter 2, Long Strange Trip. Scene 5. This week's art is by Benjamin, showing off his grandparents. Bit by bit, we are getting closer to our bonus scene. We're still waiting for these three things. 1, 100 views video here. 2, 50 subscribers. 3, 5 patrons on Patreon. When any one of those happen, we will post 2 videos the following week. Please spread the word. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up below. If you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe. And if you have any questions about Ben, me, the story, any opinions, thoughts, just leave a message on the wall below. These are all enormous helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much for visiting. Please come again. Peace, hugs, and happiness. David Amrod, signing